Cash Cow, Tank coming back.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you who he's fighting, but you know, because I know you're not going to answer me. Even if you know, I know you're not going to say it here.
But my mouth like this.
But what can we expect from? I'll say, what can we expect November the 2nd from Tank? What is it we're going to see from the Cash Cow Tank? You know, multi-division world champion, knockout artist. You know, what are we going to see November 2nd from Tank?
Well, with me and Tank, I can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
You know, let me explain.
Calvin Ford confirms that Gervonta Davis is expected to make his return in November, and he believes they're gearing up to deliver a special performance together. He also makes it clear that there was never any real bad blood between them from that training camp, keeping things strictly professional and focused on the work.
From that camp.
Yeah.
And me and Tank haven't seen each other since camp. When I left, everybody thought I was mad. I wasn't mad. I was just, you know, just it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was going through court at the same time.
Yes, I was going to say something like, yeah.
I was going through court.
Yes.
And he won, I won.
That's right.
So,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I haven't seen him just to give him a hug from that victory.
Right.
Calvin Ford believes Gervonta Davis keeps evolving with every training camp, and in the process, he also forces Ford to grow and adapt as a coach. He compares Davis to his Michael Jordan in boxing, saying he pushes that level of greatness in the gym. Ford even admits that every time they prepare for a fight together, he ends up learning something new from him, showing just how much the fighter continues to develop.
When is it that you see like, all right, now because you know the first couple weeks is warm up, and then you like, all right, now we're ready to go. He's in fight shape right now. At what point do you see that in camp?
Well, like I said, every camp is different from me.
Right.
Because I'm growing too.
Yeah.
You know, last camp he said, "Oh, you getting good at this."
Yeah.
You know, nah, because you getting good at what you do. So my game got to step up with your game. You know?
Right.
So you know, we try to look at opponents that we had to put in place, things that we had to do, and like I say, Tank is like my Michael Jordan in the ring. So you know, I have to listen to what he want, what he want to do. Last camp, man, you know, I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
You know, as a person, as an athlete, as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And watching him evolving.
Yes.
Because that last camp, man.
Talking about a possible Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis showdown, Calvin Ford gives Stevenson respect for his boxing ability, but still feels Davis is operating on a different level right now. He warns that once they finally meet in the ring, it wouldn't be a clean or easy fight, and things could get very rough very quickly.
You're Tank's trainer, and I'm pretty sure you like, hey, we'll get the job done.
The fight is going to happen one day.
What do you think that he brings to the table? I'm saying give a game plan. What does he bring to the table?
I'm going to give Shakur. See, everybody don't know. We have a history because I know y'all seen videos and everything.
Yes.
We have a history. Man, his grandfather, we real cool.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We grew up with these youngins. You know what I'm saying? To me, Floyd is Shakur is a good boxer.
Yes, he is.
He's a good boxer.
Yes.
I give him that. But again, Tank is different. He's on another mission, and the way things are today between them two, it ain't gonna look pretty.
After confirming his return, Calvin Ford is putting Gervonta Davis through a tough, demanding training camp to refine every area of his game ahead of his comeback fight. He aims to bring him back fully ready, sharper in every department, and even more dangerous once he steps back into the ring.
So that's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bad. Everything on the line. You know, that's old school right there. That's everything on the line.
Analyzing his training work, Barry Hunter believes Gervonta Davis possesses elite-level physical strength, along with all the key tools required to compete at the highest tier of boxing. He sees him as a fighter fully equipped to deal with the toughest challenges the sport can offer.
Fans, the real ones that know that this is no easy fight. Very skilled, and I'm gonna go on the line and say this may be the most skillful person that Tank has faced thus far.
I just don't want to look bad come fight night. My biggest fear has been embarrassed, especially in front of like all these people, like worldwide. then you be like, come this mean for that, like, you know, like, I ain't got time for that. I'm not trying to go out, get my butt kicked, like, bad, like, I can't do it. I don't want to be embarrassed, bro. It's just my pride. Some people be made for it, some people don't. It's not gonna win. You better be ready.
Moreover, Calvin Ford believes Gervonta Davis has evolved as a fighter since his last performance, largely because of everything he has experienced outside the ring. He explains that those real-life lessons have played a big role in strengthening Davis' mindset and helping him sharpen both his training habits and his overall approach when competing.
I just know that he's not the same person that we seen the last time we seen him in the ring. Been through a lot of stuff. Watching him making the transition coming from being incarcerated to now and dealing with courts, dealing with that type of stuff, because that's a trauma and a half for you if you ever been through that type of stuff.
Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson recognizes Gervonta Davis as a major force in boxing who has full control over his own career choices. He explains that if Davis truly wants the fight, it can be made happen fast, without any real barriers standing in the way.
Biggest star in the world, one of the biggest stars in the world. So with him being at that top spot, he can pick and choose who he wants to fight. If he want to fight this guy, he can fight this guy. So, and my brain is like, you know, just say you want to fight and we can make it happen at any given time.
At the same time, Keyshawn Davis shows respect for Gervonta Davis, highlighting his sharp finishing ability and calm control inside the ring. He also points out that a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson would be extremely competitive and would not be easy for either fighter, given how closely matched the skill levels and styles could be.
For one, I really think the fans don't really see nobody beating Shakur. For one, like, when people bring up him and Tank, when I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and all everybody is saying is. No, that should be like real debates. Like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight, he's filling out, he's dropping this dude. He went crazy that last fight. That last fight was like kind of crazy.
As the hype continues to build, David Benavidez sees Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson as the fight boxing needs most right now, highlighting the massive impact it could have on the sport. He says that if this matchup finally gets made, it would instantly dominate headlines and become the main focus across the entire boxing world.
This weekend, I would love to see Shakur and Gervonta. You know, I think Gervonta and anybody in that, any of the top guys at that weight class is a great fight. Gervonta, Shakur, Gervonta, Teo, Gervonta, Keyshawn. I mean, that 135 to 140 pound weight class is hot right now, you know what I mean? But that would be a great fight. I think probably that would be one of the fights that would be the most anticipated, you know, if they can make happen, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. By no means it would be easy for either fighter. You know, we just seen that Shakur Stevens was able to shut a great fighter like Teofimo down and made him look silly. So that would be a great fight, you know, and a big shout out to Shakur Stevens becoming a 4-time division champion. You know, he's on legendary status. He's on his way to be a Hall of Famer too, and he's still very young.
Anthony Bren breaks down Shakur Stevenson as the cleaner defensive operator in the matchup, while also pointing out that a large part of Gervonta Davis still feels partially hidden from public view. He explains that Davis often fights with patience, carefully selecting his shots, whereas Stevenson maintains a steady rhythm and consistent pressure from the opening round to the final bell. He concludes that the styles don't clearly tilt in favor of either fighter, which is exactly why the matchup stays so unpredictable until both men actually step into the ring and prove it against each other.
Shakur Stevenson. Shakur might have better defense, but at the end of the day, I still think we haven't seen the best Tank Davis. That's what people always power. We still haven't seen the best Tank Davis. And Shakur, for the most part, he comes forward. Tank Davis, all he takes is one shot. He's a very patient fighter. He doesn't throw a lot of shots, but every shot he throws, he makes them count.
Andre Rozier also describes Shakur Stevenson as a sharp, highly technical fighter, but he still leans toward Gervonta Davis because of his fight-ending power. He frames this matchup as pure skill versus explosiveness, where Stevenson can manage the pace and control the rhythm, but Davis only needs one clean opening to completely change the fight. In his view, the contest sits right on a knife's edge, where even a small mistake in timing or a brief loss of focus could be enough to decide the outcome.
Well, I tell you like this, Shakur is a talented fighter. Tank, that's like my ride and die. I like guys that get people in trouble and knock them out. So I'm always riding with Tank. It will be a spectacular bout. I mean, you have the age-old puncher versus boxer at its best. Now, if Tank allows Shakur to get ahead too far, then he might not be able to catch up to him. On the flip side of that, if Tank gets in there and Shakur makes a mistake, it only takes one for the lights to be out. So I'm waiting to see it. I want to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another 50-50, but you know, I'm Tank all the way. So I got to ride or die with who I ride and die with, even though I love them both.
However, Bruce Carrington downplays the current hype around a potential major fight involving Shakur Stevenson, saying the momentum behind it has cooled off for now. He notes that both fighters still have enough time to rebuild that excitement, but believes Stevenson needs more explosive, statement-level performances to get fans fully invested again and bring that energy back to the matchup.
Is it a huge pay-per-view attraction right now?
Right now, no. I feel like because these guys are still young, they have the time to build it up, and because of how the audience have been taking Shakur's last performance, the interest of it is low. You know what I mean? So I feel like for it to be big again, Shakur has to have exciting performances and at least like a back-to-back.
Meanwhile, Gary Russell Jr. expects this matchup to turn into a fast, non-stop battle, with pressure and trading shots shaping the entire fight. He points out that the non-stop aggression from one fighter could force everything into high-intensity exchanges from the opening bell all the way to the end. He also explains that the contrast in styles is what makes this fight so appealing, since it naturally pushes the action and creates moments fans are drawn to.
Tank fight, he come to get boogie. He come to where if he don't whoop your ass, he gonna knock you out. Say with me, if I'm gonna whoop your ass, or you going out of here. Clean up time. Let's go. Styles like that being clashed against each other, there's gonna be a juicy fight. It's bound to be a juicy fight. People's going to tune into it. That's why they really would tune into it, because of the styles. Now that don't need no build up because of the styles.
Gary Russell Jr. breaks it down further by describing Shakur Stevenson as a clean, efficient technician who builds his fights around defense, movement, and sharp accuracy. He points out that Stevenson stays very disciplined in the ring, rarely takes unnecessary risks, and avoids getting pulled into wild exchanges. Instead, he focuses on smart positioning and picking the right moments to score, which helps him consistently stack up rounds in a controlled way.
Shakur, he got a different style. He got a surgical style. He's a boxer. He don't get hit. He's not going to get hit. He's going to move. He's going to be smart and obedient. He's not going to try to throw no wasteful shots. And he's not going to take no risk for real with certain fighters. Why? Because it'd be foolish. His job is to win. And if he can do that by playing it safe, he's going to do that. It's not stupid of him. It's smart of him. It's obedient.
Frank Martin also breaks down the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis as almost a 50-50 fight built on completely opposite styles. He describes Stevenson as a sharp, technical boxer who controls the pace with structure and precision, while Davis brings explosive power, raw instinct, and controlled chaos inside the ring. Martin adds that Stevenson is easier to study and prepare for because of his more predictable rhythm and system. But he warns that Davis is a much tougher puzzle to solve fully, since his timing, explosiveness, and ability to change a fight instantly make him harder to plan for in detail.
Man,
or it's too close to call.
It's just one of them things. Tank got skill. Tank got skill. Tank got power. He got that natural instincts, man. He got it. You know, Shakur just a pure boxer.
Yeah,
he could box, a pure boxer. But is this pure boxer? Tank
got a little bit of everything.
Tank got a little bit of everything.
And it's hard to game plan for him. Okay.
It's like you gotta like knowing you finna fight Shakur, you just know you finna box.
Yeah.
You finna box.
So you gotta be sharp.
You gotta be sharp. Tank, you know, he got a little bit of everything in his arsenal.
Meanwhile, Tim Bradley breaks down the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, pointing out Stevenson's defensive control while also acknowledging Davis' explosive finishing ability. He slightly leans towards Stevenson in what he sees as a very close, tactical fight. But Bradley also warns that Davis has the tools to completely flip the script if he stays aggressive and forces Stevenson into uncomfortable exchanges. He adds that if Stevenson doesn't increase his counter activity when under heavy pressure, it could open the door for Davis to land the kind of decisive shots that change everything in an instant.
And I say he fights to the level of his competition, you know, and you could say, oh, there's some contradiction going on now, but it just, I still got Shakur, but there is still like, it's like, I can see a way, I can see a path to where Tank can beat him. I can see it. I can see a path in a way that I believe that Tank can catch him and hurt him and knock him out. You know, I'm not gonna give that away. However, I can see the path. I can see a path, man. Well, I could talk about it. I mean, it's the fact that he's not, when you put heat on him, he's so damn defensive that.
Tim Bradley breaks down Shakur Stevenson as a fighter who spends a lot of time moving off the back foot, and he warns that this approach could play directly into Gervonta Davis's hands. According to Bradley, too much retreating would give Davis the chance to control the pace, dictate the action, and pile up the cleaner shots throughout the fight. He also believes that if Stevenson becomes too passive while dealing with pressure, he could easily lose rounds and possibly put the entire fight at risk.
As long as he's not willing to risk getting caught, Tank's gonna be in the fight. Period. And if he starts moving back on his bicycle and Tank's coming forward, Tank's gonna be the aggressor. That's what's gonna happen. So I can see Tank actually winning a fight now when I thought that he couldn't, on the scorecards, and not knocking out Shakur because of this. You know, the inactivity behind his defense could be his downfall.
That's what we gotta do, right? We gotta keep an open mind, fight to fight.
Showbiz the Adult looks back at the online tension surrounding Shakur Stevenson and another top fighter, explaining how the buzz slowly disappeared once neither side kept the rivalry alive. He says Stevenson quickly backed away from the back and forth, leaving fans without any real conclusion to the situation. As time passed, the early excitement turned into doubt, and the potential matchup gradually lost all momentum.
They had a back and forth on X, and at the end of it, Shakur was like, yeah, it's over. I mean, he's not going to fight me. He's not interested. So I'm not interested. Don't ask me about that again. And I'm totally with him on that. So yeah, him putting that extra, and plus we don't know what's going on with Tank right now. So, you know, he has a lot of things to deal with. It's easy to say F him right now anyway, right? But I lost interest when Tank lost interest, Shakur lost interest. Listen, I mean, fighting Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion, I always saw Teofimo Lopez as like a Tank Davis kind of. Like the way I've always compared them to, except for Teofimo Lopez is a big guy. And with Shakur moving up to fight Teofimo Lopez, I'm kind of fine. Like, I get it. You know, if they were to ever fight, of course, that'd be amazing.
Showbiz the adult breaks down a fighting style often linked to Shakur Stevenson, where he takes smart risks by allowing pressure to come his way before snapping back with clean, accurate counters. He explains that it's a very controlled approach, but it can quickly turn dangerous if the timing is even slightly off or the reactions slow down. He also points out that this style was already being tested early against Gervonta Davis, showing just how risky that strategy becomes when facing elite-level power and speed.
You get what I'm trying to say? He would take a few, bam, bam, and let you get off so he could get closer. So you could try to throw 3 or 4 or 5, and then he countered those. Now he's boxing. But he'll roughhouse to box because he can always rely on him being rough. He can rely on it. He had the doghouse rules with Tank at 15. He found out how tough he is. So at the end of the day, when everything strips apart, he can rely on that foundation. But that can hurt him. It can also kind of help him because Devin ain't known as a great puncher. And he's coming up. So he can feel safe doing what he always does against natural welterweights. This is rough.
At the same time, another possible return fight for Gervonta Davis is starting to gain serious attention, as Oscar de la Hoya confirms there's growing interest in a showdown with Floyd Schofield, also known as Kid Austin. He says talks are expected to heat up soon, and if the fight becomes the main target, he's fully prepared to push hard as a promoter to get the deal done while making sure his fighter is completely ready for the challenge.
There will be real talks happening very soon. If Kid Austin wants to go after Tank next, then me as a promoter is what I have to do and get him, right?
Floyd Schofield, also known as Kid Austin, is fired up about testing himself against the best and believes Gervonta Davis is the fight that truly matters. Instead of chasing safer matchups, he's focused on elite competition and proving he belongs at the highest level. According to him, stepping in with top names is the only real way to earn respect and show the boxing world he's ready for the big stage.
But at the end of the day, it's boxing. You know, I'm just here to give the best fights. You know, I'm young. Tank is, the gatekeeper as far as like holding that belt, that championship. And he's a person I got to go through, you know. I'm not, no disrespect, but I'm not looking to get it through a Lucas body or somebody that they expect me to beat, because, you know, once you do that, you know, you don't get no credit for that. So, you know, I'm looking to make the best fights happen. And, you know, Tank is one of the best. So I'm ready to get this fight on. It's just crazy how people try to downplay the fact that a young fighter is actually daring to be great. So, you know, I'm doing something Shakur and Dev is not doing as far as fighting, you know, the boogeyman of boxing. So, you know, once that day comes, hopefully I get my...
Gervonta Davis trainer Kenny Ellis is questioning whether Floyd Schofield can truly deal with the kind of power Davis brings into the ring. He says watching tape and training in the gym is completely different from experiencing those punches in a real fight. According to Ellis, nobody really knows how Schofield will respond until the pressure gets serious, and he's forced to handle that power under the lights.
Rocking with my guy, you know.
For sure, but the way you see it, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think if Schofield got experience, he working in the gym. I know he put on a lot of muscle. But I don't think he felt, you know, spawn and hit where he get, that shit is different. I don't think he felt what he's gonna feel with Tank. Not speaking, but just I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Some things he has yet to experience. He might can push through it, but some things you feel in that ring. A lot of these fighters, they watch video clips and they watch this training, but you can't feel when you're looking at the videos. You can't feel what you watch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the part, you know, he got to be able to push through. You know, a lot of pain comes with boxing. People don't know that. Pain comes with this, you know, and I have yet to see anybody put Schofield through pain.
Boxing commentator Showbiz says the possible showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis is being fueled mostly by hype right now, especially from the press conferences and all the public talk surrounding the fight. He points out that the extra buzz around Stevenson's camp is keeping fans locked into the storyline. But according to him, the real excitement and belief in the matchup only becomes real when both fighters finally get inside the ring and back it up with action.
A lot of you guys are interested in that. I would be very interested in the Floyd Schofield versus Gervonta Davis. I just think that'd be one. The press conferences alone, right? Can you people calling, Big Floyd, Papa Floyd, y'all call him Auntie Schofield like that. People don't like him. So, dude, that would be hilarious. Just a lead up, and then you have Floyd Schofield, who definitely can swat. But the second thing I want to say about that possible matchup is, listen, I know the Schofields. I think they have a problem with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to pick. I love you, boy. I like them when they fight, and that's my problem. If this fight is even made, a lot of us aren't going to feel confident about the fight happening until they step in the ring.
And that's a wrap for today. Now it's your turn. Which of these fights do you want to see happen next? Drop your picks in the comments and let the debate begin. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest boxing news, fight updates, and full breakdowns. This video is created strictly for informational and educational purposes only, aimed at keeping boxing fans updated with the latest news, analysis, and discussions in the sport. All content is presented under fair use guidelines for commentary, criticism, and reporting. No footage or material is intended to harm or misrepresent any individual or organization. We do not claim ownership of any third-party content used, and all rights belong to their respective owners. This video is made to support discussion within the boxing community and provide value to viewers in a fair and respectful way. To make this content more unique, engaging, and informative for the audience, we have also used AI assistance in the creation and structure